So welcome back to Open Metaverse. My name is Yiting Shan from the investment and strategic partnership teams of Animoca Brands. So hi, it's a new face for this episode. But as one of the female investors from the team, I wish I could bring like a different vibe and some fun to this episode. So just a quick introductions. I spent most of my past careers in traditional finance. I've been working in investment banking, corporate strategy, and private equity investment for the past of my career. I joined Animoca Brands back in 2023. So now I have a very special missions. I need to find true builders in the AI sectors who utilize blockchain technology to bring disruption changes to the Web3 industry. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the Animoca Brands YouTube channel. So today, I want to introduce a fantastic guest from one of the projects recently received strategic investment from Animoca Brands, together with big names including PayPal Ventures and General Catalyst. We want to dig out the true story of this economic layer of the AI axis, which adopt the concept of proof of AI. So please join me and welcome Scott Shi, who is the co-founder and CTO of Kite AI.
Thank you.
So Scott, before we break into your introductions, can you actually tell us a very simple but important questions? Why this project is called Kite?
That's a long story. Actually, I called an agent help me to find the name. How it works is that basically I just list all the English word and then break down by the frequency. And then I send 100 name to the OpenAI and ask, hey, could you help me pick a name which sounds positive and user-friendly, community-friendly, and the word people associated with positive feelings. And at the end of the day, we have less than 100 lists. And then I send this 100 list to GoDaddy and say, hey, what's the domain name available for this 100 name and within my budget? So at least I think at the end we shortlist 5 names and the team vote for one from it. So that's a kind. I actually intend to release this as open source project. It makes name picking much easier, and it only took like a $10 and 2 hour. Actually, I think less than 2 hour to go through all the English word. Yeah.
I see. Right now, like the logo and the name is very memorable. Like the 3 dots you have on a kite, it's actually a very good design.
I think the designer work may be done by AI as well.
It's
later,
not
maybe
AI.
Later in by the AI. Currently, we still have a fantastic designer team helping us do the design.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very nice story. So tell us a bit more about yourself. Where do you born, and then how you start your studying computer science?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in China. I spent first 20 years in China. And then I went to Zhejiang University through mathematical computation. I skipped the national entrance exam and actually went to university half a year before anyone else. In this case, we have a special batch of this student actually went to university half a year, 6 months before before our peers. And then I spent 2 years at Zhejiang University. Then I actually went to US for undergrad and grad. I went to USC graduate school, and then around early 2011, and then that's my story.
Cool. So do you always have a passion for computer science? Because both your undergrad and master, you choose that,
Yeah.
right?
So decision for me is pretty simple. Because I come from mathematical computation background, I either be a mathematician or I want to be a programmer. I think it took me probably a few days to think about this, and I feel like I like programming because it's easier to verify. Mathematician, you spend months thinking through, and then probably just solve half a problem. But programming, you can spend like a few hours and program something impactful and operatable. So that's why I choose to be a software engineer or programmer.
I see.
Yeah.
So after you graduated, you actually started your journeys in the Silicon Valley. We know you've been working for Electronic Arts. You spent 3 years in Salesforce, funded the Einstein team, or part of the Einstein team.
Founding engineer for
Founding
Einstein,
engineer
yeah.
for the Einstein team. Okay. And then afterwards, you spent 4 years with Uber and do the Uber internal skill AI, right?
Yes.
We want you, because it's a very impressive track record. We want you to find like 3 keywords to describe the 3 respective experiences when you work for this big tech firms. What will you choose?
Keywords about myself or my experience?
About the
here?
experiences in the 3 different companies.
I think one of the most important thing, all the company I built is innovation first company. Salesforce was ranking several years as the most innovative company in US. Uber is known to be a disruptive and innovative company. So that's why I think in the company itself, it's incubate innovation, innovative culture. Actually, I built almost 5 to 6 projects from scratch in across 2 companies. Every single project starts from myself. In this case, I just realized there is a gap with the current business requirement or business model, and then realize, hey, we need to build this. For example, at Salesforce, I built first Salesforce internal Airflow. This is a workflow to generate analytical report, to generate the data for predictive analytics, like the early version of the machine learning or AI. At that time, there is no data flow in this case. I built this from scratch, and then to daily 500,000 run. At Uber, similar thing happened. This is early 2017. With like a dawn of the AI. In this case, need tons of audited data in order to figure out, for example, build a fraud detection, to build in this case, collision detection. For example, if I'm taking an Uber from here to airport, if I have a collision, the Uber will call me automatically. Uber also will call 911. This is actually model rely on the data. And then I build an initial internal version of Skill.ai from design to drive to the completion, and then grew the team from myself to 200 people. So in this case, Uber can have tons of people audit the data, label the data, not called labeling. At that time, we call auditing. Labeling the data and then build machine learning and AI on top of it. So all these companies are very extremely data-driven company, are extremely innovative company. So I think that's actually, define my career path. So innovation and thinking out of box, and then identify the gap in the current world, and also I spent almost all these years on foundational data and AI infrastructure. Yeah.
So it's always centered around data.
Always centered around data and AI, I would say. Like
I
data,
see.
when we talk about AI, I think 90 to 95% of AI is about data in this case. So that's why now it's a very sexy word called AI engineer, but we used to call data scientist. Data scientist is our AI engineer in this case, or AI scientist,
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So you left Uber in 2021, right? Is that the first time you start to get exposure to crypto?
That's correct, actually. So I've co-founded Zeta Block with Chi. So we're building actually data and AI infrastructure. And then we found a very strong demand from Solana community. And then also from like OpenSea, Magic Eden. So we support their infrastructure.
How do you know these guys? Like OpenSeas and then all the data infra partners.
So that's a really good question. I don't think there are many very legit infrastructure support, particular data and AI infrastructure support in this case. And also because some of them because our introduction from our early VCs in this case, and also it's just by word of mouth. We actually did $0, spent $0 on marketing. So people are impressed by our technical background, and also infrastructure, the solidness of infrastructure. So that's why not only not only we have OpenSea, but we also later on have Sui, and then EigenLayer, Story, and then many other top crypto projects build the entire data infra and AI infrastructure on top of us.
Oh, so they just come to see the block.
Exactly. So that's why we actually spend $0 for marketing for the first 2.5 years, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see. So basically, your previous 3 experiences with EAs on Salesforce and Uber will be the end goal for a lot of people like engineers. So why do you realize you have this entrepreneurial mindset? You wanted to get out of these big names or sweat factories and want to start something on your own for Cedar Block?
I want to start something from very early years. From my personal experience, I never had problem with exam.
Of course, you pass the mathematical.
So basically, you just say if I want to take a national entrance exam or not. But I have the liberty to choose majors in this case. So I think I made a decision. I want to be an entrepreneur in Bay Area since early 2000 when I was in high school. In this case, so it's either be a mathematician or be a software engineer or programmer. I say, hey, at that time it's an early time for internet. The 2002 I read a book I read a book at home, and it's called the Chinese Silicon Valley, Chinese internet, and then they feature all these early Chinese internet founder, like Li Yanhong, like Ding Lei. This is early 2002. I was in high school, the first year of high school, and then realized, hey, this is actually where I want to go. I want to go to Stanford University. I want to start my company in Silicon Valley. So the rest of the time, I just execute my plan strictly, planned since then. So I think it's for me. I didn't get admitted to Stanford. That's the only drawback. That's the only not according to plan. But I went to UIUC, which is also a top school. So rest of the part is according to my plan. And then it took, I think the biggest roadblock for me is to get a green card to start a company. And I waited a few years to get a green card. But the second month I got a green card, I quit and started a company.
I see.
Yeah. The second month, actually, not second year. Yeah.
I see. But why like Web3 data so specifically? You can do like a Web2 data company, right? How do you see the needs actually coming from like the Web3 side?
Yeah, so I think one of the reason is that this is similar with blockchain. So underlying people arguing blockchain is just about database. Like a blockchain is like a wrapper database. And then for people who actually focus on foundational data infra and AI infra, almost every single use case, you need to build a special purpose-built database. For example, Google has purpose-built database. They use called MapReduce, and then this big table, BigQuery, and all this purpose-built. Facebook has their purpose-built database. Uber has purpose-built database because each of the use pattern, data access pattern is different. Similarly, for blockchain, the traditional blockchain is built for financial transactions, and then if you think about the AI use case, you probably want to customize for that. So the only question, I think the question is not if you should build a database or blockchain for your special purpose use. The question is that if you have enough resource to build. For example, I think it's an open secret. If you want to build a special purpose database, in this case, in Web2 world, you probably need 100 million investment to build one. In this case, Web3 data access pattern is very different than all other patterns. In this case, you have a block of data every 15 seconds. If you're Ethereum, you have a block of data every 15 seconds. Each block of data, you anywhere ranging from 1 megabytes to few 50 megabytes. You can have very big data in this case, and all of them need to commit it, nothing all at once in this case. So you definitely need your own data infrastructure in this case. So I think the question is not why do you need to build infrastructure. The question is that do you have enough resources? The problem is big enough to build one. Yeah.
I see. So let's get into more about like the Seed Block, like the predecessor for Kite AI, which founded by you and Chi. So can you guys tell us more about what Seed Block do and what's the problem it solve at the very beginning?
Yeah, so basically we're building a data and AI infrastructure for blockchain use companies. So that's why we got all the biggest blockchain company like EigenLayer, Story, Sui, and OpenSea earlier using us. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So what do you when did you actually start to build Kite AI and you sort of like pivot Seed Block from like a data infrastructure to this AI L1?
We start Kite AI last October or November. The reason is that we realized it's actually become a tipping point for the AI. I think next 15 years will be AI super cycle. It's bigger than internet. It's bigger than 2000 internet. It's bigger than 2010 mobile. It's bigger than cloud. 2015 cloud. It's bigger than Web3 in this case. Web3 is still ongoing, but it's since like 2000, probably 15 since Ethereum. So AI super cycle, we're going to observe most of the stuff going to be done by AI agent instead of human beings. So AI agent will help you do research. AI agent will help you purchase. AI agent will do all the work for you, and you just need to give them direction in this case. So you basically have your personal agent represents you, do the work, and then interact with the agent-to-agent communication to list those agents provide service and list those that maybe data provide additional insights. So this will become future. And it's not like a future. It's not like a 10 years, 15 years from now. I think it's this year in this case. Actually, I spent, I probably will open source this part. I spent 2 days build my personal agent. And then this personal agent can interact with the agent service on Kite AI network to help me order Uber, help me planning events, help me make purchase, help me do research. Yiting actually asked me to do research about one of the Animoca portfolio, and the agent very smart enough to actually not only do a deep research themselves, but also search online, web search, and then summarize a summary report in less than 5 minutes. So agent will do everything. In this case, when you have agent do everything, you realize each of the transaction is very small. In this case, you need your agent. First is that you need your agent have ID. You need to know your agent and act on behalf of you. Once you have agent have your ID and you have a wallet to spend money to exchange for services, you want your agent to exploring lethal service, and lethal agent is providing the service and then negotiate the deal with each service and agent, and then exchange service for payment. All this should be done automatically without human intervention, in this intervention, because think about each agent action could be very small. It could be like fetch 2 rows of data, help you to make a smart decision, but these 2 rows of data only cost 1 cent or 2 cents. Like in this case, you're not gonna have human in the critical path to interrupt the agent operation. Right. You only need human to authorize and make decision at major step in this case. So that's why the world currently today is very far away. We don't have infrastructure to support this future, and this is the future going to be realized in next 6 to 24 months, I would say.
I see.
Yeah.
So this is also the point you see where blockchain can actually
Exactly.
help, right?
Exactly. So that's why I think we have tons of blockchain and AI project, blockchain and AI. But there is a major difference for AI for blockchain and blockchain for AI. AI for blockchain is that you maybe have your AI agent help you to stay ahead of curve. So give you intel about what's the trading part, for example. Which token should I buy? In this case, like help you improve user experience for crypto user. But blockchain for AI is something very different. It's a different kind. Blockchain for AI is more like how do we actually help AI user and AI builder, and that's what Kite AI is doing. We want to be the economic layer for AI. So we want to help AI builder, in this case, not only find a list of service agent they can interact with, and then AI builder, can build a very simple personal agent and then interact with list of service and list of the agent they can exchange for service in there. So that's why, we focus more like the blockchain for AI part. In this case, when agent talk to another agent, you have service level agreement, which is going to be written a smart contract. For example, the code is a smart contract here, and then the agent can communicate. I'll give 2 concrete example. For example, if I want my agent help me to rental 2 GPU hour until tomorrow morning, help me do some research, run some compute. In this case, I can give it to my agent this command, and my agent will figure out what's the best time to run 2-hour GPU. And then each of the GPU provider will provide a service level agreement as, for example, what's the availability of GPU. When it's actually rental during 2 hours, it cannot be done. It cannot be go offline. If they go offline, it should compensate me because my productivity is impacted. It should be performant. Performant means that the time to first token throughput should be beyond certain threshold. If it's dropped below the threshold, they should compensate me as well, in this case. So this should all done by agent. Another example is that, for example, I may have an agent help me order Uber or order Uber Eats. In this case, the thing I care most about is that order completion and order accuracy. If I order something non-spicy, but Uber agent give me some spicy food, I not only want my money back, I want to compensate for my order in this case. So all this should be done programmably, and then use a smart contract. Code is the agreement between agent and then in this case. So the smart contract not only define the service level agreement, but also compensate you when the service agent breaks the service level agreement.
I see.
Yeah.
You think the AI agent has a higher accuracy rate than human beings? For instance, I order Uber Eats, right? He can get me. I just give him a very vague descriptions. I wanted something, I don't know, spicy.
Yeah.
Can he find the most spicy or most
So I would say, from certain perspective, I would say agents are extremely smart and extremely dumb at the same time. Extremely smart is that for certain problem, they can address it much better. For example, if you take a snapshot of the Uber ordering, you give them a contact, historical contact, what's going on? I want to order some spicy food. This is a screenshot for the current step. Tell me what to do next step. In this case, agents are extremely smart at this. They can even spot the blurriest the font and also figure out what to do next step. But agents are extremely dumb from certain perspective. Is that currently there is still not this active learning incubated into the agent. So in this case, it maybe repeat a few steps, make the same error again and again. Then before jump out, hey, maybe I should try something different. But currently, the most important thing is that this is actually all up to agent builder. I don't find a very performance difference between Anthropic OpenAI model or a few other foundational model. Most time is like how you actually code your agent. In this case, how you manage your agent memory, how you manage agent contacts is actually more important. So agents are extremely smart, but only if you target a particular problem and you code it the right way.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So audience, here is the key questions of this episode. Scott, can you explain to us in simple English, what does proof of AI mean?
Great. So proof of AI is a new consensus layer to help agentic AI define ID, attribution, verification, and payment. The goal is to let user trust their agent.
I see.
Yeah.
Can you maybe give us a real world applications or scenario that Kite AI already has been working on or helping? Like how does that work? How does the proof AI work in real life?
That's a really good question. I think I can give you two examples. One example is that first is that this is actually on creator economic here. So that's why very passionate to work with Animoca brand. I think by the end of this year, you will see this is becoming more and more true. Is that you probably just need 2 to 3 minutes of audio data, my personal audio, and then create audio agent sounds exactly like me in this case. I saw tons of demo from AI friends, AI founder friends, and then you just have someone sounded exactly like you with 2 minutes or 3 minutes talk in this case. And then so that's why I think we are working towards a tipping point. Creator economic can be disrupted, and then it's much easier to create a creator digital twin. In this case,
right.
You want your fans to be engaged. You want your fans to, if you're a creator, you want your fans to be engaged. You want fans to interact with you. In this case, there is actually one of the biggest creator network. I cannot name which one, but they did a research study. If they have an audio model, interactive audio model, or interactive creator digital twins interact with their fans in real time, the subscription rate actually is 3x. In this case, it's concrete revenue to not only the platform, but also the creator in this case. So that's why we are working with one of the OpenAI real-time API provider. They have 800 million video and audio data per day. And then in this case, this data can help you to create a better creator digital twin in this case. And then so we also working with some channel partner to create a creator digital twin for our ecosystem in this case. So this is a very important angle. The other important angle is e-commerce. PayPal lead this round, and then we are meeting their CEO very soon in this case, and in person very soon in this case. So PayPal is working with several e-commerce platform like Amazon, all kinds of e-commerce platform in this case. One concrete example is that in the future, most of the purchase probably not going to be done by human. It's going to be done by agents. Yeah. Exactly, right? So in this case, you can describe high level what you want to purchase. Agent will help you purchase. Agent will help you dispute if the purchase is incorrect in this case. And then, so that's one additional angle. We saw a strong demand e-commerce. And we're working with PayPal as a channel partner here. So again, I think it's very important for us to find a vertical to work on first. And for these verticals, we want to find a 3 or 4 important channel partner to work with. So it's much easier to find individual service provider.
I see.
Yeah.
These are all very exciting partnerships coming up. We're super looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay. So speaking back for Kite AI, right? You mentioned it's an L1 AI chain. What's the, I know like the testnet version 1 is also live. We can go to the testnet version 1 and experience what Kite AI is. But can you tell us what's the end goal or the product format for Kite? I think you mentioned in the articles you have like a mainnet and different subnet. So what is this subnet for?
Yeah, so we're probably going to rename subnet as use another name in this case.
Okay.
We are still debating, but let's call it subnet for now. So we want to have this modular experience. You have this 1+1 larger than 3. I'll take another example. Another example we're actually building. We are building with Berkeley for blood cancer detection model.
Okay.
And then Berkeley, researcher in Berkeley and MSK is one of the biggest cancer detection center in New York, in US. And then they are building a blood cancer detection. Currently, they only have data from UCSF. The data is actually limited. The sample is limited. The sample is also not only limited, but also biased from certain perspective. They want to add additional data source to verify the data. If the data is actually correct or data, the model they build is not biased in this case. So that's why Codata, one of our data partner in this case, provide audited data, like label data, not beyond UCSF. They actually had partnered with some hospital in Southeast Asia, in China, in this case, provide additional blood cancer samples in this case. So we want to list all this data asset, AI asset, as a module. And then, so agent builder or AI builder, they can come here, select the module they think is benefit for them, and then they can DIY. It's like a building an agent or building a model on top of a Lego piece. In this case, you can just assemble the Lego piece you work for you. In this case, assemble it together, and you have this 1+1 larger than 3 effect. So that's the idea of subnet in this case.
I see. It's module by module.
Modular approach. Because I give another example why AI need a modular approach. At Uber, I built 2 products related to AI, lead end-to-end. One product is fraud detection. In this case, no, actually, this is a safety detection. If you're ordering a Uber rides at one of the most dangerous neighborhood in Brazil at 2 a.m. as a new user paying cash, most likely we're going to block you. Actually, very interesting. Robert, the president of the Agent Layer, complained to me about this issue. This is actually the product I built. I'm sorry for him.
Okay.
But in this case, you need trips data, you need user data, you need credit information, and you need city information and zip code. So in this case, each of the data you can think of as modular. Another very completely different data AI model we build is collision detection. If I'm taking Uber to airport, if I have collision, Uber will call me and call 911 at the same time immediately. In this case, you also need trip data, you also need GPS data, but you don't need rider you need rider information, but you don't need zip code data. You don't need other data. You can see how completely different use case use the modular data for the underhood use the modular data in this case. So that's why we believe in the future we want to provide a collaborative space for AI builder, for agent builder to use the same data but assemble it for different use case, and you have this 1+1 larger than 3 effect.
I see. That's very impressive. So what would you say is the key difference between Kite AI and other like L1's AI chains in the market right now?
I think we are building for very different purposes in this case. I think there are a few other AI layer 1, but each of them are built for very different purposes, are solving a very different problem. AI is such a big word in this case, and then I feel like for example, you have AI help you create digital twins. You have AI help you predictive this more biomedical this predictive this the DNA this part. You have AI help you forecasting weather. Well, most of the AI you also have AI help you do the robotic stuff. I think most of the world are going to working towards use a similar architect for the AI transformer. I think transformer is eating the AI world. But generally speaking, AI is such a big broad in this case. So I think there's many other AI layer 1 solving for different problem. But I think we are the solely one focusing on this agentic AI economic layer for agentic AI. I think there's
For
only
the interactions
for the
between
interaction, the
agents.
service level agreement, and payment, etc. I'm pretty sure there will be tons of it in the future, but as far as I know, we are only solely focused on this.
By the way, congratulations on your recent raise. So I know PayPal Ventures and General Catalyst has led this round, and we are so happy to be participating in this round as well. So I think all of us should know PayPal. For General Catalyst, it's a mega fund with over 45 billion AUM and recently raised 8 billion for AI-focused investment. So they also choose to continuously back Kite AI. So why do you think PayPal Ventures and General Catalyst choose you guys?
So I think one of the biggest thesis both JC and PayPal believe is that agentic AI is eating the world. Most of the work in the future, this is not like a far away future, 5 years, 10 years from now. In next year, I think most of the work is probably going to be done by AI agent. And then, so the thesis now is that, all the company used to mention people is their most important asset. I think in the future, all the company will say data is their most important asset. I think it's already starting from one of the biggest US companies. Data is the most important asset because think about agentic AI. They will say, hey, can this done by agent first? If this can be done by agent first, then I'm going to have our agent to do the work. Only if this cannot be done by agent, I'm going to hire someone to actually expert to do the work in this case. So that's why both of these companies has a strong thesis in agentic AI is eating world. But what's actually blocking the wide adoption or the massive adoption for agentic AI? It's idea and trust. How do I make sure individual user trust their agent? How do I make sure we hold agent accountable for the work they do and then end-to-end transparency for what they do? So that's why this is a very strong thesis. They want to back a team who actually can deliver idea and trust for agentic AI. And then we have a proving record. We are the best deep tech team who can build not only the infrastructure, data and AI infrastructure, but also can build blockchain to support this end-to-end transparency and idea and trust for agentic world.
Okay, thank you so much. We're so glad to have Scott here to share this AI insights with us. So we hope this content is not only entertaining, but also useful to all of the audience here. If you like it or you have any feedback, please feel free to reach out to Animoca Brands. So please like the episode and subscribe us for more contents like this. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.